Make a start with some news that's just coming in. In breaking inputs coming in, Pakistan has rejected the statement by BRICS that militant groups in Pakistan pose a regional security concern, with its defense minister saying no group operates freely inside Pakistan. Pretty much unexpected lines, nowhere to hide. Pakistan completely exposed. They're coming out with this statement after, in a groundbreaking declaration that's come in by BRICS nation, China on board, something that India had been saying all along on how it's time to dismantle these terror groups in Pakistan. The LET, Lashkar-e-Toiba, as well as Jaish-e-Mohammed. BRICS declaration exposes these terror groups that are operating from Pakistani soil, continuing to bleed India. For the first time, we've seen how China is in agreement that work needs to be done in annihilating these terror organizations that operate from Pakistani soil. Let's go across to my colleague Ashish joining us with further details. Ashish, this response pretty much expected from Pakistan, rejecting that statement because this completely exposes Pakistan and also this all-weather ally of Pakistan. China is on board in taking action against these terror organizations in that declaration.
Actually, in fact, this response was not expected from Pakistan because in the joint declaration, nowhere any one of the 5 countries have mentioned Pakistan as a country. Pakistan was never mentioned in the joint declaration. All that was mentioned are the Pak-sponsored terror organizations and the violence that is taking place in Afghanistan. But obviously, Pakistan knew that the 5 countries of BRICS are referring to Pakistan, and that's the reason why Pakistan Defense Minister has reacted, trying to reject all these charges or the allegations rather that have been put forth by the BRICS joint declaration. Mr. Khurram Dastagir, who's the current Defense Minister of Pakistan, has said that we reject BRICS declaration. There are no safe terrorist havens in Pakistan. So certainly this is an indication that without any name being any of the minister or government member of Pakistan in the joint declaration of BRICS, Pakistan is reacting to the joint declaration of the BRICS countries, proves that the countries of BRICS were indicating towards Pakistan, and now Pakistan has reacted, and it has not come from a small politician or any party spokesperson. It has come directly from the Pakistan's current Defense Minister, Mr. Khurram Dastagir. He was speaking at the Defense Council meeting in Pakistan. That's where exactly he made this statement less than 24 hours after the joint declaration by the BRICS countries.
You know, Ashish, this is, of course, Pakistan is guilty conscious right now. The fact that it's actually saying that they reject this statement, like you very clearly pointed out, Pakistan was never mentioned. It was never mentioned in this joint declaration. And for Pakistan to have come out and rejected that statement only goes to show that, in a way, it is owning up that these terror organizations do operate from its soil, pretty much aware of the same, and now rejecting that statement that the BRICS nations have put together that they want to act against these terror organizations like Jaish-e-Mohammed as well as Lashkar-e-Toiba only goes to show, in a way, that Pakistan, completely exposed and in a way admitting, yes, that they operate from its soil, and that's why it was important for Pakistan to react without it being mentioned. Ashish?
Could you please repeat your question?
Okay, I'll just come back to you, Ashish. Stay with us. Defense Minister, I think, of Pakistan, we have a reaction on that. Let's take a listen in.
ये तंजीमें जो हैं इनके बाकियात पाकिस्तान में हैं कुछ जिनको हम साफ कर रहे हैं लेकिन इन पाकिस्तान में हम जिस चीज़ को कैटेगोरिकली रिजेक्ट करते हैं कोई सेफ हेवन्स किसी भी टेररिस्ट ऑर्गेनाइजेशन की नहीं है और इसीलिए जो है वो हम सबके लिए जो लम्हा फिक्रिया वो ये है कि खुद अमेरिका के जो इंस्पेक्टर जनरल हैं फॉर अफगान रिकंस्ट्रक्शन उनका एस्टिमेट ये है कि जो अफगानिस्तान के 407 ज़िले हैं उनमें से एग्जैक्टली 57% वो हैं जिनके ऊपर अफगान हुकूमत का असर या कंट्रोल है पूरे 40%।
All right, that was a reaction of Pakistan Defense Minister. As we were pointing out, even though Pakistan, the country's name was not mentioned in the BRICS declaration on how action needs to be taken against these terror organizations, LET and Jaish-e-Mohammed, Pakistan reacting to it. What is to speak of Pakistan? Clearly taking note of that particular statement in a way, almost admitting.
That's right, Akshay. The Pakistan, had it been a smart defense minister, would have not reacted to
That's right.
the joint declaration of BRICS. By reacting to the joint declaration of BRICS countries in just 24 hours after this joint declaration was made in Xiamen, China, Pakistan has indirectly confessed before the world that the BRICS joint declaration was aimed at Pakistan only. And that's exactly what we see as the biggest success of the Modi government in the
Right.
entire BRICS summit of 2017.
Okay, Ashish, sorry for interrupting you there, please, but we do have defense experts also joining us over the phone line. Lieutenant General, we have G.D. Bakshi as well as Brigadier Mahalingam, the gentleman joining us. Thank you very much for joining NewsX. Let me get a comment from General Bakshi first. General Bakshi, even though Pakistan was never mentioned in that joint declaration, Pakistan issuing a statement saying there are no safe havens for terror organizations, completely axing its own foot and exposing itself. General Bakshi.
The fact of the matter is that this is a quixotic statement from Pakistan.
Yes.
Pakistan is nobody to try and poke its nose and cock a snook at the BRICS statement. After all, it is issued by its own mentor, China,
Yeah.
and nations of the power and stature of Russia, India, Brazil, and South Africa. So for a pariah state like Pakistan to try and cock a snook at the joint declaration of this country, which clearly, of these countries, these BRICS countries, which clearly points out to the Jaish-e-Mohammed, the Lashkar-e-Taiba,
Haqqani
the
network.
Taliban, the Haqqani group,
Yeah.
all Pakistan-based organizations as terrorist groups that need to be acted against. Well, Pakistan can go stew in its own juices.
No, but General
And
Bakshi,
it's
aren't you
the
surprised?
bravado.
Aren't you
You know,
surprised, General Bakshi?
No.
General Bakshi, aren't you surprised? You see, this is also exposing how immature diplomacy really is in Pakistan, and as a country it is. Because you see, sir, Pakistan was never mentioned. Yes, these terror organizations were, and action needs to be taken into dismantling these terror organizations. Pakistan never needed to react because it was never mentioned in that joint declaration. Yes, these terror organizations are operating from there, and for none other than the defense minister of Pakistan to come out and reject that statement only goes to show, in a way, this is Pakistan's guilt speaking.
Of course, it's their guilty conscience.
Yeah.
They are, the whole world knows what they have been up to. And it's hardly a secret that Pakistan is the source of all terrorism, the mother country of all terrorism all over the globe. They are suffering from a huge, a massive guilt complex,
That's
and it
right.
shows.
It shows in statements like these. General Bakshi, just stay with me, please. Brigadier Mahalingam, your first thoughts. Pakistan not being mentioned, yet issuing a statement, rejecting the statement of BRICS nations and saying there are no safe havens in Pakistan. They're clearly axing their own foot here.
See, first of all, as you very rightly said,
Yeah.
it is a guilty conscience that is working, number
That's
one.
right. That's right.
Second aspect is Pakistan is nobody to either approve or reject the statement of the BRICS statement.
Yes.
Thirdly, the issue that by rejecting it, what are they trying to convey? They are trying to convey that the terror groups which are mentioned in that declaration are indeed there to stay, and they support them. In other words, they are not condemning what the BRICS summit did. The BRICS summit came out and said these are the groups which are coming against the peace
Yes.
of the world. So
Yes.
in other words, they are going well against what China in fact has propagated and which was responsible as a part of the BRICS group to sort of bring about this particular statement.
Yes. Stay with me, Brigadier Mahalingam. General Bakshi, also the fact that Pakistan is now reacting, and we have established it that there was no need for Pakistan to react. The fact is, I think China coming on board in that statement and saying that action needs to be taken against these terror organizations, that is something that perhaps Pakistan has completely on the back foot, and not being able to handle that China is also on board with India when it comes to counter-terrorism.
There is some significant subterranean shift which has taken place.
That's right, sir.
Subterranean shift which has taken place, because if you recall, as late as the Goa BRICS meeting,
Yeah.
China had strenuously opposed Pakistan being mentioned in any way, or any Pakistani terrorist organization being included in the BRICS declaration.
That's right.
It's come a long way after the Doklam fiasco. They have had to eat crow even on this one. And they have had to, by virtue of the pressure of the other BRICS countries, they have had to agree to the inclusion of these terrorist organizations based in Pakistan. And this takes all foreign right of China now to try and block the declaration of Masood Azhar as a international terrorist.
Right.
The UN Security Council, which they have been so strenuously opposing.
Indeed. We'll have to leave it at that, gentlemen. Appreciate you joining us. Thank you very much. Brigadier Malingam, as well as General Bakshi and my colleague Ashish for joining us with those inputs.